Yeah, I mean, all right, we're gonna start. For guests and visitors, my name is Steve Parley, Club President, and I'd like to welcome you all to the 29th meeting of the 47th year of the Dublin Worthington Rotary Club. I'd like to remind everybody that we are still in Worthington, Ohio. It has not moved, still here. And the city does currently have a mask mandate in place, so I encourage everyone to please follow the mandate as closely as you can while you're not eating. Today's invocation and pledge of allegiance will be offered by Tom Rice.
Let us pray. Oh God, we thank you for your many gifts, including this gathering and the gift of education and every opportunity to make a difference. Rotary keeps us learning. And today we give you thanks for the chance to learn about Omar and Jesse and the impact of Columbus State and our scholarship program. Please bless this meal, this program, and Jesse and Omar and all who will follow in their footsteps. With grateful hearts we pray. Amen.
Amen. I'm gonna get the pledge here real quick.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Tom. Appreciate that. Looking around the room for guests or visitors, I'm not seeing any guests other than our speakers, which will be introduced later. So that takes us to our sergeant.
Well, your sergeant's getting lunch.
Yeah. Is there a fine for not being ready for your duty? Usually ought to start in a minute. So we'll vamp a little bit.
Yeah, well.
It's all right. It's a slow, cold Wednesday. We can take our time. I'm looking forward to the day.
Okay, who's got the pot? Thank you. And who's got some happy dollars? Now, you know I'm the sergeant today, so you might as well get out your dollars. Because as the treasurer, I'm telling you, we need it.
Yeah, Jerry.
Yes.
Yeah, Don Motley here. I'm remote today, but I want to pledge some happy dollars for our 14th wedding anniversary that we celebrated last week.
That's good. That's $14.
There you go.
Any other dollars, happy dollars from the Zoom meeting? Okay, Joe.
Sarah and I just celebrated our 20th anniversary, but I'd like to say it was 3.5. Is that fine?
Yeah.
I already saw the fining structure you're using.
$3.50. That's good.
I will also round that up to $5 and mention that I'm going to go on a guy's ski trip here this weekend to Breckenridge and hopefully come back with all my limbs. So.
Very good. Okay. I'm still looking for-
How are you? Good, how are you? Good. Is Erin here? Yes.
Hi, Teresa.
Yes.
We're gonna mute you now. Any other dollars from the Zoom? Bonnie, check your email. I just sent you one about 20 minutes ago. Oh, John, you're muted. So are you talking to Mary or?
Hi, Jerry. I have a happy dollar. I'm
Good.
happy that last week's meeting, which was great, by the way, Teresa and all those who put it together. Aringo Gu from Mongolia was on the call, and I was trying to get a hold of Steve to get her recognized as coming from the farthest point to attend the meeting. But it was great seeing her again. She was on the original delegation that came, gosh, Tim, was it 5 years ago?
I think it was 4, John.
4 years ago. You know, I got that wrong. I told her 3, and now I say 5. So anyway, so it was kind of nice. It was nice to see her.
John, I know you're happy. You don't need to pay the dollar for that, but you do need to pay it for the mistakes you made. Only $1.
You're so fast, Jerry. You are so fast.
Jerry?
Yes. Oh, Tim, go ahead.
Well, I thank you, John. That I will take that as a challenge. Ardengu pointed out to me how delighted she was to stay up late. It was 1 o'clock in the morning to hear about the challenges women and girls face everywhere. I pledged $2. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll put it on your bill probably.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? All right, to those who are in person, oh, I see Dave's got his hand up. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm just very pleased to announce that we will be gone for 5 weeks, so I won't be able to be with you for lunches, at least not in person. My wife and I are going to Mexico next week, and we'll be there for 5 weeks in Veracruz. While there, I hope to be able to continue to interact with the Rotary Club of Veracruz. They have some very interesting projects going on there, and perhaps there might be ways to get our club engaged with them.
So I'm not happy about that. So does that cancel out the $1?
No, it doesn't actually.
Why aren't you happy?
We're
What's
not
the matter
happy.
with us?
We're not
Selfish.
happy that you're gone, but don't get your money out because you're gone for 5 weeks. That's $5.
Oh,
George, I think I know you.
Sue and I are going to California. We're going to Zoom in for the next 2 weeks.
Okay, that's good. When do you leave?
Sunday,
Sunday. So do you want these tickets for the symphony on Friday?
this Friday.
Yeah, I sent you an email. Some guys never read their emails. You know, that is just unbelievable. Okay, any other happy dollars here?
Hey,
Oh, good, Steve.
It's February and I've been, Katie has that cabin. I don't know if you guys are aware, but I've been looking forward to going to her cabin for a weekend just to get away and disconnect. So now that we're in February, it feels kind of real. So I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, very good. That's $1. Okay. Here comes our master sergeant.
And it seems that nobody's mentioned that today is 2/2 of 22. And I think that's appropriate for $1 to be put in, and more importantly, $1 to be put in by Ken Carey, because he chose to not really be saying too much about the Ohio State programs here recently. And he's been our true link. And so I'm regretting his inability as a sergeant to do that. So, and I also needed a way to get another $1 in the pocket.
But wait a minute. If it's 2, 2, 2, 2, why are you only putting in a 1?
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Well, I'm not as fast as I once was.
Thank you, Jerry.
Okay. All right. I'm not gonna fine you for pins or name tags or anything like that. You know that, are you just getting your, you're just getting your $1 ready, Jim?
yeah.
Okay. I usually give you 3 dad jokes. Well, do you want to hear a joke about construction? I'm working on it.
Never fails to deliver. Thank you, Jerry. Very much appreciate that. All right, moving right along. Anybody with announcements? Mr. Jim Farmer.
Yes, as some of you may have noticed, this weekend is Super Bowling Saturday from 12 till 4 at the Bowling Palace. So I know many of you are coming. I look forward to seeing you. And I do have 2 happy dollars. I'm going to be happy that it's over. And I'm even more happy that I'm a member of a club where 27 people have bought lane sponsorships for this event. So thank you all.
Thank you. Andrew.
I'm making a deal over here.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Don't want to know what kind of deal.
Just real fast, the food drive will be on March 19th, so mark your calendars. I will be sending out more details over the next couple of weeks. Thank you.
Thank you for heading that up. Any other announcements? Anybody on Zoom have an announcement?
Hey, Steve,
Yes.
ask Jim how many more lane sponsorships are available.
It's 3, isn't it, Jim?
3.
Just 3.
I'll take one. Are there 2 others?
Ooh.
I'll take 1. We're down to 1, people.
Jim Allen's taking the last one. Look at that, sold out.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, how many teams do we have? 15?
We're 15 right now. We're allowing people to sign up at the door, so we're hopeful that we'll get a few more before it's all said and done.
Fantastic. And great job from that committee putting this all together. I know there's a lot of moving parts and it's gonna be a great event. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, any other announcements? Last call. All right, I think it's time for our program. Mr. Jim Miller, if you'd like to introduce our speakers.
Well, in many ways, this program, we had planned to be right before the bowling tournament, which is the main fundraiser for our scholarships, both in Dominican Republic and scholarships here. As many of you may remember, about 2.5 years ago, we began a task force to look at our scholarships. And the scholarship task force came up with several goals that you will hear today basically have been met. One of those goals is that we wanted greater impact. We felt that the $1,000 scholarships that we were giving to students who are going to education frequently at the $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 level didn't have a very high impact. So we were looking at having a high impact and that maybe even could change lives versus just being, as one person put it when we award one to Harvard, their money for a student for their education, because those only went 1 year. And we began to look at places and found Columbus State was an ideal place. We also recognized that debt in this country for student debt has been ballooning at an alarming rate, and that many of the students going off to college are not able to go or have gone and owe so much money that they either leave school prematurely or are saddled with a tremendous burden the rest of their life. Third thing that we were interested in doing is partnering, and we started out with the Dublin Club and the Worthington Club, but the Worthington Club, actually, when we contacted them, it was amazing that all of their goals matched ours, that they were having the same types of concerns about their scholarship program. And we wanted to emphasize, and as they did, that we would approach students with need as one of the high priority criteria. Secondly, we wanted to be able to find students who had provided service to their community, their family, within their school, and that were high service oriented. You will find out today that all of these goals have especially been met by our award winner this past year, Omar, as he speaks. The other thing that we really wanted to look at is expanding our vision of who we included. It needed not to be just 4 years, but we wanted a vocational school. And that's part of also what we were able to accomplish with this program. It has been a great partnership with the Worthington AM Club, and we are continuing it this year. We give a scholarship that is a 2-year full tuition scholarship. So this is not a small scholarship to the recipient. And it is for Columbus State, which you will hear also provides opportunities to be able to carry on to a 4-year institution. So without too much further ado, I want to introduce our speaker, Jesse Jones. And Jesse, I know from first when we started this venture 2.5 years ago. And personally, she is an enthusiastic Columbus State believer. She understands the program very, very well, very deeply, and is passionate about it. So much so that I ended up, along with my wife Anita, deciding we needed to establish a scholarship of our own. So she does bring a lot of background. She graduated from Columbus State in 2007, and then went on to Ohio State University, graduated there in 2009, and has worked for several nonprofits and government organizations until joining in 2014. In 2014. So Jesse?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And for those tuning in, let me know if I'm talking too loud. Like Jim said, I am a very proud alum of Columbus State, probably the biggest Columbus State cheerleader you'll ever meet. And so it makes my job a little easier when I just get to tell the story of our students. I say our students say it better than I ever can. And real quickly, I'll just say how great it is to be in this room with, I tell Jim, I said, this is a fun, feisty bunch. I did not expect on such a dreary day to come in here, and there's just so much excitement in life, and this is just really great. As an extrovert in a pandemic, I'm loving this. I've missed this. So yeah, I grew up in Southwestern City Schools. My parents did not go, they didn't graduate from college. I should say my dad wanted to start his own business. So he took maybe like 3 college classes and thought, I'm good. I know what I need to know now, and started his own company. And so when all of us kids were growing up, there's 4 kids in my family. My parents wanted us to go to college. For those in the room who are what we call first gen college kids, right? Meaning your parents didn't graduate from college. Usually your parents demand then that you go to college. And so for us, when we were going to college, my parents didn't know how this worked. And that's the common plight with a lot of our students is, how does college work? If you grew up in a family where everyone has bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, it's a given. Columbus State was built for first gen kids like me. And so, went to Columbus State. I loved it because it allowed me to work my numerous jobs. The more students you'll talk to at Columbus State, you'll find that we have a job, 2 jobs, family obligations, things like that. And so Columbus State is the place for the working student. And so I loved it so much. And even when I graduated, I was an unofficial admissions rep for Columbus State to anyone who would listen, just because I feel like you can go a lot of different routes with higher ed, and Columbus State was perfect for me. And I know if it was perfect for me, it's probably perfect for a lot of others. But community college still has that weird stigma. And that's unfortunate, because for students like us who have to work, who have other obligations, it's the only way college is going to happen for us. And so Dr. Harrison, our president, calls Columbus State the front door to higher education in Central Ohio, meaning it can open to anyone. I sent a link to Jim about this website, and basically I don't need to run through it, but if I can just show. He brought up college debt. And I know that we've been in a pandemic for almost 2 years, but even before the pandemic, we were talking about the college debt crisis as almost like an epidemic, in the sense that our society it was telling young folks that you just gotta take out the loans. You just gotta go into debt. That's just what you do. And that's not the case. It doesn't have to be the case, right? And so as you can see here that, bachelor's degree grads leave college with an average student loan debt of $30,000. And that's up 450% since 2000. And so with 30,000 being the average, there's kids, and I call them kids, even though, at Columbus State, our students could be 18 years old all the way up to, 66 years old. And so that's just debt that doesn't have to happen. And so I won't go through each slide, but the website that I sent really details what Columbus State is trying to do. And just a few of the programs that we're doing to help with this is our College Credit Plus, which allows high school students to start taking Columbus State classes. And it's not uncommon now that a student in high school will graduate both high school, they'll get their high school diploma and an associate's degree, or halfway through an associate's degree by the time they're 18. And so just imagine those college credits racking up. So when you eventually do go to the college, whether it be Columbus State or a more expensive, maybe private university, you're already ahead of the game. And so $5,000 is the average tuition for 1 year at Columbus State. Now, obviously with programs, right, if you're going into construction and you need tools and things versus Associate of Arts or hospitality, or, those tools are different. So this is an average, but $5,000 a year compared to most universities and colleges is very economical, very affordable. But to bring it back to scholarships, $5,000, I mean, to some, that's just impossible. It's just not, and so that's where it's really easy to sign up for those student loans. And we always encourage students to apply for scholarships because you just never know, right? You never know, you could win. And so the scholarships that you guys are fundraising for could be the make or break, I should say, for a lot of students. So thank you. Dr. Harrison has, he gives a lot of speeches, but in some of his speeches, he says that some of our students are one flat tire away from dropping out of school. And if that was you when you were in college, you know that feeling of just every dollar has a place and you weren't expecting this, and this pandemic hasn't helped our students either, but we're working out, we have student emergency relief funds for that too. But I mean, if Columbus State is the place for students who, that this is their only chance, that flat tire, that, the rent going up, they lost their job. I mean, college, taking that high level college class could be the easiest part of their day. And so on top of that, so on top of the College Credit Plus that I talked about, we also have what's called a preferred pathway program, which means that if you get your associate's degree from Columbus State, you're guaranteed admittance to these other colleges and universities. I believe there's 9. So for a lot of these high school students who think, oh, I didn't get into OSU, or I didn't get into Ohio Dominican, oh, my life is over. No, come to Columbus State, take the same Englishes, the same maths, the same sciences, the same histories, get your associates, and you're guaranteed admittance to these places. And you still get the bachelor's degree. You can still go into, if say Ohio Dominican or Otterbein or Ohio Wesleyan has that specific program, you're still going to get there, but thousands and thousands of dollars less. And then the last bit I'll talk about is our a new program called Columbus Promise, which Jim and I were just on the phone the other day talking about. So this is brand new. The Columbus Promise Program says that, and this comes from Council President Shannon Harden, who he himself admitted that he has $100,000 in student debt. And he says that he's embarrassed about it, but it's the truth. And that's what he has. And so he says he doesn't want that for anyone else. And so if you are a Columbus City School senior, this graduating to class of 22, 23, or 24, academic good standing, you fill out your FAFSA, your first 2 years at Columbus State, tuition free. Oops. Sorry, tuition free. So your first 2 years, but on top of that, you get
Don't worry about it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'll fix it later.
You also get $500 to help with those other supplies, your books, right, if you're in hospitality, right, you're supposed to get certain things. If you're in dental hygiene, vet tech. So you get $500 a semester for those extra things, textbooks. So Columbus Promise, Preferred Pathways, College Credit Plus, we're trying everything we can to eliminate this student debt problem. And at any time, anyone can go on our website and see what the cost of college would be. And it's a really great tool. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. And yeah, like Jim mentioned, it wasn't my intention for him and Anita to start their own individual scholarship, but they awarded their scholarship to 2 students, and his scholarship is called Opportunity Linden. So it's for a student, it's his own personal scholarship for a student who either grew up in Linden or currently lives in Linden. And the thank you notes, if you ever need a good cry, you read the thank you notes from our scholarship recipients who said that just that $500, that $1,000, that was, had they not got that, they would have had to have taken this semester off. And y'all know if you take one semester off, it just gets harder to get back in the swing. And so, you know, for me and for a lot of Columbus State students, you know, I tell students, just do what you got to do to get that piece of paper, you know, and because we all know it's not just a degree. Yeah, it's just an associate's degree, but it's never just a degree. That piece of paper is what's going to set you up and set your family up for a lifetime. But it's a lot easier said than done, right? Just get the piece of paper, just study, just go to the test. Well, when you have family, when you have jobs, when you have obligations, making it to that final is not as easy as just going. So these scholarships change lives and the trajectory of families for generations to come. So thank you so much. Let me know if anyone has any questions about Columbus State, about any of the programs. Yeah.
The Promise program, you say they're giving students free pass on the first 2 years. Where's that money funneling in from?
Sure, and I'm going to this is our Columbus State main page. And so on the main page, you scroll through the pictures, you'll see it is coming from a combination of City of Columbus, Columbus State, and corporate partners. There was quite a few corporate partners who were brought to the table because if anyone here, I mean, we can talk about the gap between, you know, large employers need employees, yet we have high unemployment numbers. How is this possible? Maybe it comes down to the training, the education, the certification, or maybe even just some sort of bridge. So employers came to the table and said, you know, like AEP, sure, if all these students work for AEP someday, great. If not, that's okay too, because AEP is here for the community, so they contributed quite a little bit as well. And so I don't know if they have a list here of all the corporate partners, but more and more are being added to the list as we speak, just because I think more and more people are realizing that we can't keep complaining about the same thing if we're not really willing to do something radical about it. So that's why these employers are stepping up.
Could we just hold the questions until after Omar?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was doing questions now or after Omar. Sorry, Omar. All All right, do you want me to go ahead and pass it?
Yeah.
Or do you,
No, I'd like Darnell to join us.
oh, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Again, I could talk about Columbus Day all day. Sorry.
It's such a great pleasure and privilege to be able to introduce our first scholarship awardee to Columbus State. And we had 10 applicants last year, and Omar just stood out for a number of reasons, and they're all great students and great applicants. He stood out not only because of what he contributed to his high school at Thomas Worthington. I mean, he was a mentor. He was the captain of a soccer team, and he also worked almost full time at Chipotle, beginning his junior year. But he was just such a humble, intelligent, hardworking individual, and you'll find out when you hear him speak. Also, I'd like to apologize because this is the first time you've met Omar, and John Butterfield. I told him that no, Omar came here this spring when the other students from Dublin came there, and he was not here. So I apologize to you all for not getting Omar here earlier, and John Butterfield especially. I'm not going to hold this up because we want to give as much time to Omar and the question that you may have of Omar and of Jesse. So with that, let's give a warm Rotary welcome to Omar Morales or Nellis.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Morales.
Hello. First off, thank you everybody for having me here. Thank you for both of the clubs, for Mr. Perkins for inviting me. Gotcha. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to speak. So many of you guys, I haven't had the pleasure of introducing myself to everybody. My name is Omar Maris. I was a recipient of last year's scholarship, which has helped a ton. I'm the son of a single mother. Since I was 7 years old. Receiving the scholarship meant a lot. It relieved a lot of stress, a lot of stress, a lot of I'm sorry. But receiving the scholarship meant a lot for us and for her. And I'm sorry she couldn't be here today. She didn't want to be here, but she couldn't make it. She had work this morning. But just finishing my first semester here at Columbus State, as Jesse was saying, it's truly a great place. It gives those students that can't go to those higher education facilities, those schools, to still get that great education at a fraction of the cost, and still having that opportunity to go on and finish that at a four-year college, which is great. For me, I'm planning to major in business management. Plan to take a few culinary classes either at Columbus State or at Ohio State. And like my family, like my mom, who to me is my biggest role model. I look up to her every day. She has worked since I was little. I've always seen her work to provide a better life for me and my brother, and I think she's done a great job of doing that. And I hope I can one day pay her back for everything she's done for me. I plan to follow her footsteps. I plan on opening a few, if not more, Mexican restaurants here in the future. I've worked in the restaurant industry or in fast food places since I was 14 years old. I remember working at the mall, a place called Foot Spot. It's now closed down. Flipping burgers with my cousin. I'm used to working those long weeks, so hopefully that'll play a big role here in the future. I plan on a couple of years attending OSU, for the business school over there, and hopefully graduate with a good GPA, good everything. I'm excited for the future. I'm excited to get to know everybody, get more familiarized with the club. Hopefully I can attend more meetings in the future. Thank you very much again.
Yeah, could we hold on for questions?
Yeah, of course.
Omar, what are you taking right now?
Class-wise?
Yeah.
I'm taking African American history. I'm taking African American history, composition 2, math, which is business algebra, and the last one, macroeconomics.
Hey, Omar.
Yep.
Could you talk a little bit or share a little bit
Yeah.
about your first semester there, your
Oh, yeah.
experience transition?
Yeah, of course. So going on from high school to college, it's just a big difference discipline wise. In high school, you're just used to, you go there every day, Monday through Friday, same schedule. Teachers are constantly telling you, all right, you have this due in a couple of days, you have this due in one day, this is due tonight at 11:59. In college, you're there. I go to my macro class 2 times a week. It's for like an hour 20. And he hasn't told us a single assignment that's due. So you just kind of have to have the discipline to go on Blackboard, to go and check, oh, my grade, what's due, our classroom right here. And you have to know, I like to keep a planner myself and write down all my assignments, write down what I have for this week. It's a daily planner. And I just like to check off, I like to physically check off every assignment I have. Which is in high school I did write a certain assignments down, but it's just the discipline required is just different. The biggest difference from high school to college. Yeah. What was that? Yeah, I do. I work at Chipotle right now. I've been working there for 3 years. I average 35 to 40 hours a week. I like to stay busy. It's a good job. I like it. I work at Chipotle. I do have a car. Yep.
Got any flat tires?
Not recently, no. Yeah. Yeah.
Are your classes live or online?
I go online Monday, Wednesday. I have African American history and math online. And then I have Tuesday, Thursday in person. I have macro in person and composition in person. Yeah. Any other questions? I'm sorry. I kind of. What was that?
I think I should just add this because he's too humble, and I don't want to embarrass him, but he aced all his courses, so.
I think this semester with the 4.0, and I'm hoping I continue that success this semester and future semesters to come. Thank you guys for having me here. I'm sorry I kind of blanked out at the beginning. Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, thank you. Well, and I was just gonna come up to you one day, haven't we had any more questions? We always say that there's no average Columbus State students, but there is a thread. There is a thread, a hard-working thread. And Dr. Harrison, when we used to do a lot more in-person events, he would always tell students to remember your why. Because college, you have to be self-disciplined and it gets really hard. And, I'm never going to use biology. Why am I taking this, right? Just remembering the why. And I think your story about, paying back your mom and having your goals, I think that's your why. So just, never forgetting that. I know we had some hands up and I apologize. Yeah.
I was just curious, but thank you, Omar, for coming.
Yeah,
and
of course.
presenting. It's fantastic. But I was curious if there's a big reason why, OSU is so much more expensive than community or, Columbus State. Is there something that's easily pointed to? Because it's such a big gap.
It is such a big gap. So right now, I believe, oh, I haven't checked OSU's credit hour, but I think Columbus State is $167 a credit hour. And so I would say like what your composition, which is English class, is probably what 3 or 4 credit hours, something like that.
Yeah, about-
So let's just say it's, yeah, like 3 credit hours, right? So 3 times 167, that's how much an English class is at Columbus State. Last I checked, I think OSU was around $450 a credit hour. And then some of these other universities I won't mention can get upwards to $1,000 a credit hour for the same English, right? And those places could be giving out scholarships too. And again, it could be a cultural thing. Their parents went there, you know, no judgment, but for folks like Omar and I, no, it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And so if we want to get to where we want to be, we're going to go there to Columbus State that makes it the most affordable and approachable, I would think. And I always say at Columbus State, hopefully you've seen this, they really won't let you fail. I mean, you're acing your courses, so no one's probably bugging you. But I mean, if a student starts to slip, they get pinged, they get emailed, they get phone calls. I mean, and they'll call you and say, what's going on? Everything okay? Do you need food assistance? Do you need rental assistance? Do you need this? Because we have people that can help with that. And so.
And I'll actually,
Yeah.
so for Mr. Perkins, at the beginning of this semester, I just wanted to say how great the staff is at C-State. So there was a problem with the scholarship. It wasn't going through. It needed approval from the Rotary Club. And actually the secretary, her name was Tony, great secretary, great person. She was actually calling me and telling me, I that morning, I like to call and tell them, make sure everything was set for the semester to start. And she told me the problem, and she actually kept calling me. Oh, did you get it figured out? Did you get it figured out? And it just showed how much she cared, that everything, there was still a few weeks left till the semester started and the deadline was due. But she kept calling me that same day. Oh, did you get it figured out? This, and that. So I don't know. It just goes to show. She had no reason to call me that same day, or like she could have called me in a week, but it just shows she cared. So I just wanted to share that story.
And to help answer, this isn't the full answer, but you know, OSU, I mean, just look at the assets owned by OSU, right? Stadiums and gymnasiums and big buildings and things like that. Columbus State, when the pandemic hit, we actually, I know that you were probably your last couple of years of high school were in a weird hybrid mode. And when the world shut down overnight, Columbus State had to transition to most of our classes being online. We were kind of built for it. We were already agile enough that, you know, we heard other colleges had to like shut down dorms and, you know, food halls and all these big things, because we've kept it kind of scrappy so that it could be affordable for as many people as we could. We actually transitioned and adapted pretty quickly. And so, I mean, we're the largest landowner of downtown, parking lots, whatnot. But parking used to be a problem at Columbus State, not anymore, not in a pandemic. But I mean, we try to keep it. We try to keep it as affordable as we can, even textbooks. Most of our professors are trying to make textbooks online, or you just need this chapter. So I went ahead and scanned it in for you. So you don't have to buy the whole $300 book. I mean, it's just little things like that maybe at other colleges and universities, they're just too massive, too big, too much going on, too many people. Columbus State, I mean, even when I was a student, the largest class I had, I think, was maybe 50 people.
Yeah.
Or at OSU or anywhere, it's like 300.
My largest class right now is probably about 30 people.
Yeah. And so.
Yeah.
So I have a question for Omar.
Yep.
Hey, Omar, so before when we had our scholarship program, we would give out the scholarships at the end of the year and everybody be happy, but then we never saw them again because it was a one-year kind of program. And so one of the things that I liked about our new approach is that it really gets us a chance to establish a relationship with our recipients, and you referred to that. So I wanted to let you know that the club and members are really open to assisting you, and we appreciate your offer to come to meetings and things like that. But we have probably many members who are in business right now. We have as many members who are retirees in business, who have lots of resources and experiences and would be glad to mentor you in any way we can. In the past, we've had actually restaurant owners who have been a part of our club, and we could reach out to them and talk to them too. So see us and participating in our service activities would be great too. So we're just excited to be able to establish a relationship with our recipients and have an ongoing relationship in the future too. So we're excited about that.
I gotcha. Thank you. I appreciate that offer very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, I was just interested whether Ohio has made any steps toward making all community colleges tuition free. Like other states have done that or are on the track.
Yeah, I believe President Biden actually had a plan for that. But, you know, Congress and things like that, even when the talks were happening, we were, you know, free is never free, right? We all know that, right? And so we were prepared either way. And there's just a lot that goes into that conversation that, but as we're showing with Columbus Promise, I think, you know, right when Columbus Promise was announced, other school districts were saying, hey, what about Hilliard? What about this? What about Gahanna? What about this? And Columbus Promise is going to be a really great chance, really great opportunity to show, you know, what happens? Does it move the needle? Does it get more kids to go to college? And when they do go to college, you know, does it, instinctively, we'd have to think it would, right? That not have the burden of tuition to, you know, but, you know, fast forward a couple of years from now, when a lot of lessons have been learned, you know, and other school districts might want to tack on, or maybe the state of Ohio, we'll be on the ground floor of that saying, here's what we learned, here's our best practices. And so hopefully that'll help prepare us. And like I said, because I'm a fan of the corporate involvement, because, you know, again, when government says it's free, is that free? And so when corporates are getting involved, that means they have skin in the game. They're going to be our partners in this. And so I like that.
So how many courses in computer chip manufacturing?
Oh, Intel. It's exciting. I mean, talk about exciting. You know, apparently we didn't, because I'm, you know, on my level, we have been in conversations for a while, right? Secret conversations, because you can't bring this Intel, you know, building to Central Ohio in a couple of years and not have the workforce. So we were in conversations, right? And a lot of really great stuff's going to be coming down the line. We're all excited, right? This is a brand new, exciting thing for Central Ohio, and it's gonna again change trajectories of generations of families. So yes, talks are happening at Columbus State. We're gonna be on the ground floor of that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any volunteer activities or opportunities at Columbus State?
Yeah, I'm so excited actually that John mentioned that Omar should stay involved. And I mean, as you guys know, imagine working 40 hours, going to school for 20 or so hours. I mean, I would love it if you kept in touch with these folks, because I tell students every opportunity is an opportunity. And so a few ways to get involved is our career services office are always looking for mentors. And I know a lot of folks think like, oh, you know, I don't, but sometimes a student will come in, maybe a student like Omar, and say, hey, I want to work in hospitality, or I want to own my own business, but I don't know what that means. I don't know what that entails. And what they'll do is they'll go into career services and they'll say, hey, we have this Rolodex of professionals that have signed up saying, hey, a student can call me and I'll talk to them on the phone for a half hour or so. So I can make sure that I get you that information, and then you can circulate it. Our career services office are always looking for mentors, folks for informational interviews. People like this Friday, I'm going to be part of a mock networking event and it's virtual, but basically it's a chance for students to practice their elevator speech or their, hi, I'm Jesse and I'm majoring in this and I want to do this when I grow up. Just saying that is actually a lot scarier than I think a lot of us would realize, but like Omar is in this room today. And so he's, he could say that to you guys and it's just a really great icebreaker and door opener to have that ready to go. The other volunteer opportunity, which is not so much career focused, but so we have something called the Mid-Ohio Market. We built something called Mitchell Hall back in 2019. Cameron Mitchell came to us and restaurateur, who, do you know the story? He took classes at Columbus State. Yeah, and so he was a student who in high school didn't like school. And so he barely graduated, came to Columbus State, took a couple classes, and because he worked at a restaurant and thought I could do this better, right? Which is a lot of business owners tend to have that kind of attitude. I could do that better. And so he came to Columbus State, got a couple classes under his belt that set him up to go to culinary school, hospitality school, and the rest is history. And so he came to us saying, restaurants can close. I want my name on something that's never going to close. Mitchell Hall. And so, but
Beautiful.
yes,
Beautiful hall.
it's beautiful. Yes. And so Mitchell Hall, though, you can't really build a state-of-the-art culinary school when there are students who don't know where their next meal is going to come from. So right off the bat, we started talking about some sort of food pantry, but we don't call it a pantry. We actually call it a market. And we make sure our students and employees know that this free food market is available to anyone. Anyone can walk in, grab a crate of food, go about their day, no judgment, no questions asked. And it's, I just heard this morning that we've served over 37,000 houses, like households. And so we always make sure our students know that it's okay. If you're having a rough month and you just need a box of food, we got you. It's cool. And it's through a partnership with the Mid-Ohio Food Bank. And so that's another, they're always needing volunteers. So, and it's just a couple hours, it could be one time, it could be a couple times a year. They would love it. And it's just packaging up food for students and the community. But
I have another question for Omar. Hey, Omar, sounds like you've made this transition pretty easy and you've excelled already. But is there something you didn't anticipate or it's been more challenging than something?
For me, something that I found challenging, for the most part, I kind of anticipated everything I was getting into. So I like to plan my things out ahead of time. So I like to familiarize myself. I guess just the work, the level of work. Yeah, it just had to be a little higher than I had anticipated. Which it's college, I get it. Yeah, but I would say I wasn't sure what I was getting, like what level of difficulty I was getting myself into. I was ready for anything, but yeah, I would say that. But for the most part, I had most of it looked into.
It sounds like some of us could get some tips from you on organizational skills.
Thank you.
Yeah, are you still playing soccer?
I am not. I like to play for fun.
Yeah, have some fun sometimes.
Yeah. So
yeah,
yeah, so I like to play sometimes. Usually on Thursday nights. So there's an indoor league team that a few friends join, and I started going as well. So I go a few times a month. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you guys again. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Jesse and Omar, for being here. Jim, yes?
Yes, I just have one last comment, is that this has been a tremendous success, and we have to recognize two people, one from our club and one from Worthington, who have just done a tremendous job in coordinating and working through the issues that we, Darnell is our representative and is co-chair with Peter McCrae with the Worthington AM Club, and they've just worked fantastically together. They both deserve it.
Fantastic. It is 100 PM, that's what we call it. So we'll get everybody out of here. Our program next week will be given by Reverend Glenn Miles, senior pastor of the First Community Church, and he's going to be giving us a timely presentation that ties in with Valentine's Day, as I understand it. Now, I may or may not have been told that he will be bringing Cupid's bow and arrow. So come to find out. And all right, before we wrap up, we have a raffle.
We do. I'm going to,
Oh,
see there are tickets in there, pick one.
okay. Oh, geez. Is this so that if you get mad at me, I'm going? You won't see me.
Because of the rain and the people who didn't show up, of course. The daily is only $5 this week. But that'll buy cigars for somebody. Even women smoke cigars.
Yeah, we do.
The last three number.
Let me know.
You know, it's really confusing.
Yeah, it is confusing. Oh, does it go this way or this way? There's a lot of 6s and 9s. You're right.
So.
Starts with 3 6s, 619.
619?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the official
I don't think
number?
so.
No?
I think it's 666 619.
619.
That's the number. That's the number.
Okay, sorry.
Give my $5. Oh, you might.
You gotta come here.
Gotta work for it. One more.
All right, how much in the ace of spades?
41.
41? $41.
39.
I'm sorry?
6. Oh,
What we need to know is we put some of this away every week
oh, okay.
and let it build.
Got it.
And somebody got it a couple of weeks ago, so it's down almost to scratch. It's 39 now. And the last four for this are 600.
Woo-hoo. Right here. I know if it was 4 9s or a bunch of 6s.
Do you have the cards?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Pick your cards.
Of course. Thank you, guys.
We're done.
So I now have to draw for the.
Thank you, Gordon. Yes, sir.
Sometimes we.
Stop it.
I'm gonna give an ad for Rotary. You've heard me say lots of times that any of us could do whatever Rotary does, but we wouldn't do it on our own. And the influence of this scholarship program bled over to my life. About 100 years ago, in another lifetime, there was a club associated with the Columbus Chamber of Commerce called Sales Executives Club, of which I was a member and served as president and so forth. And we had established a scholarship fund for people who were going to go into sales management. And we never gave away the money in total because they wouldn't invade the principal. And so about $32,000 or so accumulated over the years. And it was being held, of course, in CDs at the Huntington. So it really grew. I mean, you know, of course, it was started in the 80s. So it did have some growth. But it sat there and sat there and sat there. And finally, one day, after considering what this club had done for scholarships and had done for Columbus State and hearing the needs and so forth, investigated that and found that there's actually a part of a scholarship fund that gives money to seniors, if you will, second year students in their last semester that ran out of money and they're not going to graduate. And so this scholarship fund is pretty much dedicated to that. And so the $32,000 plus went into that fund. But that's what happens in Rotary. I think I heard today, every opportunity is an opportunity. Thanks for the $5, guys.
All right, in conclusion, we are gonna do the four-way test. Please join me. Let's see. All right. Of the things we think, say, and do, first.
Is it the truth?
Second.
Is it fair to all concerned?
Third.
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
And fourth.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your week. We are adjourned.